Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now the data is in, and today we're gonna review Zillow's weekly housing market update. And what they're gonna outline, guys, is just how much demand right now has been absolutely destroyed. Now, obviously, that's from the number one factor, which is unaffordability. So obviously, when you remove hyper demand, which is what we had, and the reason why we're in the situation that we're in, when you remove that, things are going to start coming crumbling down. And you guys, we're starting to see that. This is a really good article today. But before we get into it, remember, this is my personal YouTube channel. I'm not your financial advisor, even though my bio is as a realtor, loan officer, and instructor in all things real estate in the great state of Texas. So you guys, please like this video for this effort, for the love that I have for first-time home buyers, and for all of the effort that I'm putting in to educate you. Also, if you can, shoot me a comment below, because you know that I absolutely love hearing from you. But let's jump into the article right now. Now, the name of the article is Declining Demand Drives Price Pullback. And I'm going to try to do a really good job at not ranting throughout this article, because the flip-flopping of Zillow is out of control. I want to scream at the top of my lungs because they're doing a complete 180, but at least they're finally now starting to be cautious. Let's jump in and see what they have to say. Starting with a few bullet points. The recent housing market slowdown has been disproportionately due to a pullback in demand and not an increase in supply. In fact, supply, as measured by new for sale listings, decreased compared to a year ago, which is typical in slowing markets. Over the last 12 months, active demand, as measured by the number of people actively shopping for a home, has also fallen by an estimated 30%. While overall for sale inventory has risen, a low flow of new listings entering the market and enduring strength of outstanding mortgage offers some support to otherwise falling prices. So real quick, you guys, can I get a round of applause for all of us who have been mentioning this over the last 5 months about how we don't need a whole bunch of supply for prices to go down? Because again, we are in this situation as a result of hyper demand, not limited supply. And I did a video a few months ago about the Federal Reserve and how the Federal Reserve is actually the reason why we're in the situation we're in. And they kind of acknowledge that the reason is hyper demand and not limited supply, because it doesn't matter how much supply you have. If there's an overwhelming amount of people that can qualify for homes, the supply is going to dry up, and that's what we saw. Now, Zillow actually mentions some really good information here, so let's take a look. The housing market is undergoing a swift rebalancing. After 2 years of double-digit percentage increases and 13 consecutive months in which a new all-time record pace was set, national annual home value growth peaked in April and has now slowed for 5 consecutive months. It may be tempting to conclude this slowdown has been caused by the housing shortage turning into a glut, similar to what happened during the Great Recession 15 years ago. However, an analysis of recent housing market data indicates that it's been a sharp pullback in demand for housing that is disproportionately responsible for the current slowdown in price growth. So again, demand and not inventory, right? Which is why the interest rates are impacting the market so much. Active for sale inventory rose steadily through the spring and summer, but still sits nearly 40% below pre-pandemic levels. Meanwhile, new for sale listings were down 16% in September compared to a year ago, a similar annual shortfall that was seen in August and in July. This dynamic is unlike previous housing market slowdowns that led the price declines, and persistent tight supply could insulate the market from significant price correction even as demand has fallen off. For instance, in the Great Recession, home value declines were prompted by an increase in new listings, including many distressed sales. But again, you guys, what we don't have like they had in 2008, the Federal Reserve is doing 75 to 100 basis point increases in 2008. Just in case you guys don't remember, or it's your first time watching my videos, the rate increases were only 10 to 25 basis points. And we didn't just get a whole bunch of money from the government from COVID. So just to put things in perspective. Demand retreat largely responsible for slowing price growth. The increase in inventory, despite a sharp slowdown in new listing activity, suggests that active demand for housing has fallen sharply. Put simply, sales flows out of the pool of inventory have decreased by more than the decline in the number of new homes coming on the market, allowing the overall stock of available for sale inventory to increase. Very important to see these numbers like that, guys, by the way. There are many variables that affect housing supply and demand, income, interest rates, etc. And ultimately, home prices demand on the number of active home shoppers and the number of available homes for those shoppers to select from. But quantifying demand is challenging due to the fact that we cannot observe it directly. So again, you guys, one of the trends that I love to keep my eyes on is the months of inventory or months of supply, because not only is that taking into account the actual unit numbers of inventory, but it's also taking into account the one really important thing, which is demand. So I actually suspect that we have a lot more months of supply or inventory than they're saying, which is 2.9 months. I think we have a lot more because the data is lagging, but only time will tell. Let's finish out the article and start visualizing some of this data. All right, so time for some data visualization. Now, this is from Zillow. This is essentially telling us how much demand has fallen nationally. Now, Redfin has that at 26%. And you guys know that I've been questioning Redfin's demand for a long time because they've had it at like 12% or 13%. I'm like, there's no way demand has only fallen by that much. But as you can see, as on a nationwide level, we're down, right? We're down 32.2% in demand, which is lower than 2018. So this goes to 2018. So we're well under those levels. That should be a big indicator of, what's going on right now. But let's take a look at some more metro areas, starting with my neighboring city of Austin. Now, Austin in demand, this is a whopping 52.7% down in Austin. Now, here is San Jose, and you guys know that San Jose is going through a price crash of over 16% from peak right now. So I thought it would be interesting to see that what demand was doing, and demand in San Jose is also down 44.6%, a whopping 44.6%. Now, obviously, I'm going to get Las Vegas in here for you guys real quick. Las Vegas is down 55.4% in demand. You guys, these numbers are crazy. These numbers are shockingly crazy. I hope you realize how crazy these numbers really are. Obviously, I'm not going to leave Boise out, so calm down. Boise's down in demand. This is insane. 54.7%. There's only a matter of time before Boise joins the year-over-year price decline list and over 15% price decline. I'm watching Boise every single day. I suspect it's going to be this year at some point where they start to crash. So we're going to end this chart out in Phoenix. Obviously, I have not forgot about Phoenix. Phoenix is in a lot of trouble. Phoenix demand is down a whopping 60.5%. So if anyone was questioning if the interest rates had anything to do with home prices and home values, I hope now is your proof that interest rates have a direct correlation and impact on home values and home prices, because they have a direct correlation as well with purchasing power and affordability, which coincides as well with wage price growth, one of the fundamentals that matches equity growth. You guys starting to see this? You guys starting to see this? Regardless, let's finish out the article. All right, so here's a super cool chart, you guys, and I'm just going to break this down for you instead of really reading this. Let me zoom in here. All right, guys, so basically the blue line represents the months of inventory. The gold line represents growth or home value growth. So you can see as the prices and home value starts to decline, inventory is going up. So this is demonstrating that demand slowing is outpacing inventory. So in other words, inventory is going to go up faster than demand goes up because demand is being completely crushed. So even once things start to plateau as far as interest rates, more than likely inventory is going to continue to go up because demand has been crushed, and as a result, you can see this gold line value is going down. So the more that value goes down, the more inventory goes up. So we're kind of at a point right now where they're finally starting to crash, and that's why I'm saying, you guys, things have only just begun. We're fixing to go into some extremely dark months in the housing market. And I'm not guessing that is going to be a fact. And we're about to see that right before our eyes, which is, again, why you need to double down on your preparation right now. But regardless, let's finish out and read the last part of this article. Let me break this down real quick for you guys. Across the country, affordability challenges have pushed potential buyers to the sidelines. Of course, this demand destruction has been pronounced in some markets more than others. Markets with higher prices a year ago saw disproportionately larger declines in active demands in the last 12 months that followed. So let's look at this. Okay, so the first two cities, I just wanted to congratulate. Let me zoom in here, guys, so you can really see this. Demand for the number 1 and number 2 metro areas, both North Carolina. So if you're in North Carolina, you guys, congratulations. Number 3, a New York City. So we're finally starting to see New York on here as well. Number 4, Stockton at 60.7. But look at the number 1 city, almost 70% demand decline. I mean, the market's dead. The market's dead. People are going to be destroyed in those markets, and it's really actually kind of sad. So next is Las Vegas, Wichita, Boise, Austin, Northport, Riverside, Chicago, Jacksonville. So obviously, you guys, the usual suspects are on that list. Now, remember, you guys, you can go to Zillow right now and search your own local housing market. And once you find some houses that you're interested in, you can go to sales history to determine what price per square foot was in 2020 or 2021, 2019, and things of that nature. So please, you guys, in other words, continue to empower yourself and continue to use the links that I'm providing you. Now, other than that, you guys, if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.